everybody. I'm in Port Perry, Ontario. I'm coming back from Lindsay, headed home, and I thought I'd stop in this bakery here that does gluten-free products. Redmond's, it's called. They have a chip truck there now. Very nice. Let me just turn this radio down. Roll up this window a bit so you can hear me. So it's Tuesday, I think the 8th of October, day after Canadian Thanksgiving. Happy belated Thanksgiving to all my Canadian subscribers, or anybody who comes across us, who happens to be Canadian. So Amanda came home from university on Thursday night to spend the weekend because she was off until today. Except her grandfather insisted on driving her back bright and early Monday morning, which she didn't want, and I was like, no, I can take her, it's not a big deal, and she can stay a little longer. But he insisted he wanted to help out, so I think he gets up at like 5:30 a.m. every morning for no apparent reason. That's not me. And yeah, so she was back by 10. Anyway, it was the first time she had been home since Julie had cleaned her room and thrown out 15 bags of garbage. Some of you will remember the hoarding video I made. Well, she came home, she took the bus home from St. Catharines, which was only $12, which isn't bad. And then she took the GO train up, which is another $3 or something. It was really pretty good until she got home, and then she was pretty, shall we say, unhappy. Sorry, there's an idiot there that I'm trying to get over, and every time I do, he speeds up, but then when I slow down, he slows down. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, so she came home on the Thursday night. She sat downstairs for 3 hours or 4 hours because, she hadn't seen us, and when she went upstairs and she saw everything that Julie had thrown out was gone, and the room was like spotless clean, she really didn't care for that, and she lost it, like totally lost it. Broke down, started crying, and I'm really concerned now, and went out to the garage to see if the stuff was still there, because it's where I keep our garage isn't attached to our house, it's at the back. There's a laneway where everybody parks, and all the garages are at the back. So she went out and she was in the garage, and I said, what are you doing? And she said, do you know if my stuff is gone? And I said, yeah, I think she just put it out on garbage day. So anyway, she went upstairs, and I decided I should leave her alone for a couple hours, and but when I went upstairs it was late and she was still talking. She was actually trying to get somebody to drive her back to, yeah, I know it was my right of way, but whatever. That's the problem with this town. There's a lot of geezers. I don't know what they're in a hurry to get to. Anyway, yeah, so she was trying to get somebody to drive her back to the university, and I was like, but what are you doing? And she said, well, it's not my place anymore. It's not comfortable. I don't feel comfortable here. I don't want to stay. And the funny thing was, when I Skype with her every 2-3 days, the honest truth is, she doesn't like the university. She doesn't want to stay there next year. She wants to transfer. So it was pretty weird to me that she actually wanted to go. But I guess when I made that video, I was half joking. I really didn't think that she actually had a hoarding problem. But so then Julie's father, Amanda's grandfather, takes her to the university, and we got some stuff for her, some groceries and stuff. So he takes it into the house, and the downstairs, the kitchen and living room that all the girls, there's like 4 girls, they all share, is spotless, because the week before she came home, there was a fire. Somebody had left a box of, or what was it? It was oven mitts inside the oven, and another girl decided to make a pizza, so she turned on the oven to preheat it and didn't look to see that anything was in there, and it all went up in flames, of course. So that was all redone. But when he took her luggage up to her bedroom, it was a mess. There were bags and papers and everything everywhere. And so then on the way, when he got back to his house, he called and said she really likes to hold on to stuff. He didn't use the expression hoarder, but that's what he meant. So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that. I've got it to a certain extent, but not like that. Like I can throw out junk, and I'm trying to. I've got a couple of collections of stuff that I realistically like. If I sold off all the books I have, all the hardcover books that I have in my basement, I could probably pay $50,000, $60,000 off my mortgage. And I've thought of doing that on a number of occasions, and I've got some signed books that would be pretty valuable, because I used to live, when I lived more downtown Toronto, I used to live across from this bookstore called the Sleuth of Baker Street, and they used to do a lot of book signings and stuff like that. So I would always go, and some of the authors, they were in the early stages of their careers, and I have first editions of books that some didn't really become famous and some did. James Patterson is, I have, it wasn't his first book, but it was his second or third, and I have his autograph. Really nice guy too. He talked to me for about 15 minutes. Anyway, so all those books really don't serve me any purpose, but I can't bring myself to actually sell them. If I sold them for a third of what some of them are worth, and some of them are old that I've been collecting since, school, and so I can't like totally bash on her. It's just that I'm concerned, and but I don't really know what to do about it exactly. Yeah, so other than that, what else happened? Her roommate, she ended up getting a double room to herself, because her roommate left after, I think she left the second week. She stayed, so this would be like, Amanda's room was on the 3rd floor, the top floor, but it was, I don't know, $5,000 cheaper, because she had a roommate instead of, or $2,000 cheaper, I think, because she had a roommate instead of a room to herself. Well, anyway, the girl went home, I think, the first weekend after school started and saw her family and saw her boyfriend, and she got homesick. Even though home was Mississauga for this girl, and they're only in the Thorold, St. Catharines area, so it's an hour away. But I guess when you're 17, 18, that's might as well be the other end of the world for them. So Amanda ended up getting the double room to herself, which is great, right? Except it gives her more space to throw stuff around. And I've already told Julie, you can pick her up at the end of the year. I'm not going, because the germaphobe in me is not going to clean up, not going to be able to handle cleaning up 8 months of junk. But yeah, so that was that. We didn't really do much for Thanksgiving because Julie was working that weekend, working the night shift. For those of you that don't know, she's an ICU nurse, so she was working the 7:30 p.m. till the 7:30 a.m. thing. So I just made I was just going to make a small, like, ham for me and Amanda. Julie's parents used to always host Thanksgiving and everything like that, but her mom is a real mess. She's falling apart. She's recovering from lung cancer, and she wasn't really doing well, and they couldn't figure out why, and they kept taking her back to see if they had missed some cancer, and they haven't. They got it all, but they think that she might have alcohol-related dementia. So she's not really tracking. She has all the signs. She hasn't officially been diagnosed yet. So I was going to do just like a small dinner for me and Amanda, but then one of Amanda's friends that went to Western invited her to come to her house on the Sunday. So I said, okay, we'll do it Monday, and then Julie's dad insisted on taking her back to university Monday morning. Not that I really care. Those kind of things are not a big deal to me. Halloween is, I think, my favorite holiday because it's short and because it's fun and it's not formal. But, yeah, so it was kind of boring. It was nice for Tuesday to show up and things to sort of get a little bit more back to normal than they had been. And so Amanda told me that she was going to, she's thinking of switching to Western next year because she thinks she's figured out what her major is going to be, and it's only available at Western or Dalhousie, so she's going to apply to both of those schools. So it looks like she'll be moving on. And I think that's about all that's going on. I sold 200 copies of my book, The Preacher Man. I still haven't released it to Amazon yet, but I can buy copies, and we did a little thing at the flea market and last week, and I sold 200 copies. So I've covered more than my setup costs, and I've made a little bit of profit. I have to get it set up with Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and I think also iTunes. I've been putting that off though, because last time I dealt with Amazon, it wasn't a very pleasant experience. I'll just leave it at that. But you know, you need more than just exposure in your own little area, right? So I have no choice. Yeah, and I think that's about all that's been going on, and I think I've babbled on for a fair bit. So I hope you got to see some of the fall colors we have here. This is a new, there's a light here, I'll stop. I've got this, I've got the camera taped to the thing with the double-sided adhesive tape, so I don't know if this is going to turn out. I tried to do one of these the other day, and it was shooting downward, so you couldn't see anything. Anyways, I hope this one works out, and I'll talk to you guys later.